Hey, it's Clay, and this will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, April 21st. Friendly reminder, the markets are closed on Friday for Good Friday. So yes, next day the markets are open is on Monday. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But like to these videos when the market is still open, because sometimes we can capture some interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol HTZ. Huge move over the past couple days, had that news show up, and then you can see today just absolutely monster volume on it, and we have ourselves a nice little pattern here as we head into next week. So let's get this pattern mapped out. So first key area of the pattern being the resistance. We have that area down there. That's just showing that the price has pulled back this afternoon. But at the same time, we have this lower area that, again, just showing the pullback. So let me change that to green for support. And then maybe to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it all one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. And then we have where it closed from yesterday all the way up to there. And then if you golfers out there try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to head upwards. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could consolidate out, make a move, and then potentially get more upside pressure through the break right there? Again, not a guaranteed outcome, but more than plausible to think that way. So if you like bull pennant patterns, you like this price range, keep an eye on it for Monday. Next one here, ADGM, and it's not going to look the exact same, but overall same pattern that we just talked about here. So let's get a couple of the key levels mapped out. So we have that area right there, and then we have that area right there. Again, let me change that to green, and you probably see where I'm headed with this, but I'm going quicker because I want to respect your time as much as possible. So you just heard me say all this, but we have our resistance, we have our support here, we have the big explosive move right there. We have the golf hole down here, so we're looking at another bull pennant pattern. Now, like I said, not the exact same pattern, but the general overall story. The story being big move up, bit of a pullback. Now will there be more continuation to that pullback? So again, if you like these patterns, you like this price range, keep an eye on it. Next one here, RTC. Interesting pattern here and situation, which all starts from the fact of things were definitely looking sketchy earlier on in the day, had the gap up. Price went all the way up there, and then the price started to drop and drop and drop. And down around here, it becomes very valid to say, uh-oh, was this just a gap and trap? Was this some sort of pump and dump? And as of now, seemingly got the answer. And no, not only did the price level out, it actually has an upward slope to it. Now, these things don't all mean that for sure guaranteed. This thing's headed back up to the highs. But my point is, it becomes a plausible argument to throw out there. Case in point, let's say the price was doing something like this, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, wait, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally just going straight down. But that's not the case here. It did bottom out, and it did start to head back upward. So on that note, that is why I would say this is an interesting and important area of support to watch moving forward, because as long as the price does stay above there, then you can still make the argument that not only did the price bottom out, but it's slowly working its way back upwards. In terms of key near-term levels of resistance, main level to watch right here, I would say they're at the 39-cent mark headed into next week. So all in all, nice little wedge formation forming. Can it get the breakout next week on Monday? We'll see what happens. Next one here, PLTR. Assuming you watched previous videos, not a whole lot here to talk about. So just to kind of reiterate a couple levels that I mapped out already. So this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past videos. But if you did, you then hopefully remember me talking about this green line down here at 89.70 as an area of support. And you can see that continues to hold true in terms of, today the price didn't come anywhere close to it. But on the flip side of things, the level up there at 94, let's just call it 75. That is right where the price did act as resistance this morning. Price gapped up, could not quite muster up enough momentum. It did pull back, but on the bright side of things, it's not like the price pulled back and dropped all the way down to the bottom part here. It leveled out actually quite nicely right there. So if that can become the new area of support, that would certainly be very, very impressive. Now, to be fair, if the price does break down to that level, by no means would I say the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that, because even with the price breaking down through this level right here, you could still argue that, well, the price could still stay above there, which overall would give it a overall picture higher base. And assuming you care about the overall pattern, then that is what you care about. As long as it's building those overall higher bases, then from the big picture standpoint, it is still building an uptrend. So all in all, nice little range here, and we'll see if the price can curl back upwards and maybe get a break up through there on Monday. Next one, NVDA, and talked about this very strong last 30 minutes on Wednesday. But yeah, then today you can see all of those gains were just wiped out, went to new lows. So never mind as far as that movement was concerned. But I'm very curious about moving forward. And let me be very clear, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great skill or a special discovery on my part. But I think a lot of people have put in that trend line right there. And when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movement. So again, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price can come up here and break through there, that even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, that a break of that area right there could generate additional buying pressure? I think that is a more than plausible conclusion. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. And then in terms of areas of support, you have an interesting level right there. So you could make the argument for a falling wedge pattern, which is bullish. Again, just because something's bullish doesn't mean the price is for sure going to go upwards. But like I said, I'm not quite sure if I would totally agree that's a falling wedge, but I also wouldn't disagree too much with it. So I'll let you be the ultimate determiner on if you think what I've drawn there is a falling wedge or not. But overall, we'll see what NVIDIA has to offer next week. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description area you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage that you can use to sign up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple of scenarios, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it. Go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I'll send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, AREC. Did this one in yesterday's video and talked about the bull flag pattern here, just to give a quick little recap. And then you can see that today, yes, got a beautiful breakout through there. It did pull back, but within the pullback, really just a case of deja vu in the sense of another bullish pattern has been formed, and you've already heard about this one. So once again, going to start to go through this a little quicker. Yes, there's been a pullback. You can't deny that. Grab the bottom part of it right there. Again, that's green for support. And then let's keep it all one color to make sure everybody's... So resistance, support, nice upwards move there. Golf down here. So another bull pennant pattern. Now, I do understand that if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within, 3 seconds, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart's looking very bad for you. But assuming you care about the grand scheme of things, the bigger picture, after today, and even with the pullback, you still have yourself a bull pennant pattern. Next one, MSGM, and not a whole lot I can talk about this one in terms of patterns and stuff like that, but the main ingredients are there for traders: volume and volatility. Right down there, that speaks for itself. Very, very impressive volume. And then in terms of price movement, yeah, this thing's been moving very, very impressively on the day. Now, is there really any sort of patterns right now? No, not really. It's just straight up on big volume. But again, in terms of ingredients and what traders are looking for, they're all there. Now, as you watch next week, if the price pulls back here a little bit, well, then not the end of the world, and maybe you see where I'm headed with this. But yeah, sure, it could pull back right here, but when you factor in the price was down here and made the big move up, yeah, you could be looking at a bull flag or something like that next week. But as of right now, it's still just speculation because you don't quite know how this is going to go. But like I said, the ingredients are there. Good, solid volume, very nice price movement. So it's just a question of alerting you to it. And if you like this sort of price range, you like volume stocks like this, then here you go. But yes, at this point, we'll have to wait and see how it goes and see what sort of patterns may take shape. Next one here, QURE. Should have put this at a different location in the watch list because you already heard me talk about it. But again, to respect your time, I'm going to just go through it very, very quickly. So there is our area of resistance. Here's our area of support. And just because I cannot help myself, let's just make sure everybody sees it. Resistance, support, big move up right there. Golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here on this one is that it happens to be on a little bit more of a pricier stock. A lot of the other ones were either penny stocks or stocks right around $5. Not that this one is super expensive, but yeah, the price range is a little bit different. Next one, AAPL Apple. And overall, it's hanging in there. But, from a bigger picture standpoint, at this moment in time, it's all about, in my opinion at least, that 50 period moving average, the purple line there, and then the 200 period moving average, that pink line right there. and whether or not the price is actually going to be able to make some sort of push back up through those areas. Now, to be fair, you had a low right here on Thursday, and then today's low, the lowest it got was right there, and then you look at even another higher low. So you do have some little miniature stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. Is this going to lead to more upside pressure on Monday? Possibly, but as I've said a million times, no guarantees, but I would not call you crazy for saying, Clay, I see these higher lows. I think this is some pressure building that could maybe give these moving averages right here a battle. I'd say, I totally see what you're coming from, but that just remains to be seen. But anyway, look at it. These are definitely the two key areas of resistance to watch moving forward. In terms of support and the level that I would definitely consider, I'm not going to say a do or die level, but quite important, is down there at the 192.50 mark. And just because, no fancy reasoning, if the price were to come down here and then break down through it, what is that doing to the price? When all of a sudden it's starting to put the price right back into this price range that I realize is behind my ugly mug. But the point being, the price is now starting to go back to where it was. And from a bullish standpoint, you don't want to see that. You want to see price making progress, not the price going back to where it was. But at least as of right now, the price isn't anywhere close to this area. But nonetheless, if it were to come into play, that's why I would say 192.50 is quite important. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And overall, a fine day. Some people were probably a little disappointed because yesterday, that last 30 minutes, that thing was ripping and roaring. And it kind of sputtered out today. But to be absolutely fair, what would have been way worse is, what was it? I think PLTR, one of them. It was NVDA. Remember NVIDIA, NVIDIA had that great move, and then it actually went to newer lows. Not the case here. Yeah, it did pull back, but it did ultimately build a higher base. So it didn't maintain all those gains that it got the last 30 minutes on Wednesday, but ultimately it did do a good job of leveling out. So on that note of things, still 234.35 is that initial area of support that you'll want to see continue to hold, and then if somehow it comes down there and breaks below it, then at that point turn your focus to 226.75. But at the same time, this is kind of irrelevant right now because the price isn't anywhere close to that. If the price does and is going to try to continue back upwards, then like a lot of these other stocks we've been looking at, the two main battlegrounds right now. First, initial battleground, that purple line 50 period moving average, which you can see back here was already acting as resistance a couple of times. And then the next key battleground is the 200 period moving average, that pink line there. We're going back through the history. You can see it's got quite the track record of also acting as resistance. So it doesn't mean that either of those levels cannot be broken. It just means that if the price is going to get up to them, then yeah, the bulls really better bring their A game because they're going to have some work to do. But like I said, all things considered, it held its ground pretty well today for Tesla. So we'll see if the bulls can make another appearance early next week. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be this evening, Thursday, April 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. But if you can't make it live for any reason, like I discussed earlier, go ahead and send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, and please consider hitting that subscribe button as it really does help out. So again, get signed up for that class, but you can't make it live, then I'll see you, or if you can't make it live, send me an email, but hopefully I'll be seeing you here in just a few hours. And then again, final reminder, the markets are closed on Friday. So thanks for watching, take care, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon on the live class.